Welcome to the deep dive.
Hello.
Today we're digging into a BBC News report. It's a transcript, actually, looking closely at a recent travel ban signed by President Trump.
Right, we've got that source material here. And our mission really is to unpack the key details of this proclamation.
What reasons were given, and importantly, how does it stack up against, previous actions?
Exactly. We'll pull out the most important bits from the report for you.
Okay, so let's unpack it. The report, it lays out the scope pretty clearly. We're talking about people from 12 countries being completely stopped from entering the U.S.
And then partial restrictions for 7 other nations.
Yeah, so that's, 19 countries total affected one way or another?
That's a pretty wide net.
Hmm.
The source does list them out, full restrictions on places like Nigeria, Sudan, Tanzania, several in Africa and the Middle East.
And the partial ones.
Countries like Burma, Myanmar, and Kyrgyzstan are mentioned for partial limits.
Yeah.
And, the report notes this list itself is interesting compared to past bans. It's a different mix.
Right, not the same lineup we saw before. So, okay, what was the official reason given for this? The report mentions President Trump explaining his thinking.
Yeah, the source quotes him. He apparently tied it directly to concerns about how other countries vet people. Security risks, basically.
Words about screening.
Screening, yeah. And also foreign nationals who might overstay visas. That was part of the stated rationale.
And the report says he brought up a specific incident, too.
He did. The source says the president pointed to a recent terror attack, the one in Boulder, Colorado, as sort of an example highlighting the dangers.
Claiming the individual involved was in the U.S. illegally.
That's what the report indicates. He said yes.
Okay, but here's where the report points out something a bit inconsistent.
It does, yeah. It highlights that even though the president mentioned the Colorado attack specifically, the suspects reported country of origin, Egypt, well.
It wasn't on the list.
Exactly. Egypt wasn't included in the 19 banned or restricted countries. And the source notes there wasn't really an explanation given for that discrepancy. It flags that disconnect.
That's a key point from the reporting. Now, this isn't President Trump's first go at a travel ban, is it? That 2017 one caused quite a stir.
Oh, absolutely. The source reminds us of that initial one often called the Muslim ban, targeting several majority Muslim nations.
And it got stuck in the courts for ages.
It really did. Numerous legal challenges all over the place. It got seriously bogged down, needed multiple changes before a version eventually made it through the Supreme Court. A very messy process, legally speaking.
So this new ban, the report suggests it's been designed with all that history in mind. It uses the phrase more savvier, more strategic.
That seems to be a core takeaway from the source, yes. It wasn't just slapped together. It apparently followed a review process kicked off by an executive order early on.
A review of high-risk countries.
Right, looking at things like vetting standards, visa overstay rates, general instability. The implication is this new ban is the outcome of that more deliberate strategic look.
So how does the source say it tries to sidestep the legal traps from 2017? What's different?
Well, the main thing highlighted is the language and the criteria. The first ban, critics argued, that it discriminated based on religion. That was a major legal hurdle.
Okay.
This new one, according to the report, seems to carefully avoid that kind of language. The idea, as reported, is to base it more squarely on security and information sharing issues.
To make it stand up better in court this time.
That appears to be the reported strategy, focusing on neutral-sounding criteria rather than nationality linked too closely to religion.
Seems like a direct response to those earlier legal fights. Any other big differences the source points out?
Yes, one quite significant one. How long it's supposed to last.
Oh.
The 2017 ban was temporary. 60 days, 90 days, something like that while they did reviews. This new proclamation, the source says, doesn't have a specified end date.
So, indefinite.
It seems intended to be indefinite, yes. Maybe reviews down the line, but as of the report, no set expiration.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does digging into this BBC report really tell you, the listener?
Well, I think understanding these different pieces, which countries are affected, the reasons given versus those inconsistencies.
Right, and the whole history with the earlier ban, the legal strategy shifts.
Exactly. It shows just how layered these big policy decisions are. It's more than just the headline. It's the mechanics, the legal thinking behind it all.
Yeah, you get insight into the official why, you can see how it lines up or doesn't with the actual action, and you understand the attempt to navigate the courts based on past experience.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you to consider. What does this evolution, this adaptation reported here in response to legal challenges, tell us about how executive power learns and maybe maneuvers around the judicial system? Something to think about.